So we've actually talked a bunch on this podcast about dudes not going to college and all that stuff. And because it sounds like that was a big topic that you've kind of gotten to the bottom of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much.
So is the answer that college is for girls now, first of all?
Well, you're going to have 2 women for every 1 man in a 4-year US college by 2030.
Yeah.
So that's the stats. It would have been reversed.
Guess I'm going back to school.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a thing called the sex ratio hypothesis, which is whichever the scarcer sex is gets to determine the dating environment, right?
Oh, for sure.
So if there are fewer men, then you have more hookups, you have less lead time between meeting somebody and having sex, you have more sex outside of relationships, blah, blah, blah. And then the reverse happens. If there's more women in some place, if you would go to some cookery college or something like that, you would have far more long-term.
Smash fit. Oh, the opposite.
Yeah. You would be made to wait a lot longer. Women would have more satisfaction with relationships. There would be longer time between.
That's less guys? So there's more smashing when there's more guys.
Well, sorry, there's less time between first date and having sex when there's fewer guys, because the guys get to determine.
That's just supply and demand.
But why would the guys be determining we should wait more dates?
No, they won't. But when it flips and the girls are the ones that are in scarcity, the men know that if they don't play the game that the girls want, there's 100 guys stood behind them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's interesting with the thing to do with college. So
right now, if you go to college and you're a dude, it's not
so easy.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
It's
doing
so
okay.
easy.
But it was even like that when we went to the same college.
The main thing that you need to know in college is don't pass out with your shoes off and don't have sex when she's too gone.
Those are
Do you know who that is?
No.
You don't know? So Asher Roth was this big college singer.
Okay.
There was a genre of college rap, and they go, and I love college.
Yeah.
That party last night. But I digress.
Like everything that would have been on American Pie, like the American Pie soundtrack.
Yeah.
Right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so roll it forward. There's some interesting stuff that's going to happen because fundamentally women want to get with a guy when they're a little bit older that is more educated than them, with more resources than them and more status than them. But over the last 30 to 40 years, women have gradually become better employed, better educated, and more status. So on average, women between the age of 21 and 29 earn £1,111 more than a man. You're going to have 2 women for every 1 man at a 4-year US college.
So right now,
blah,
on
blah.
average, girls make more money than guys?
21 to 29, yeah. Anyone can go and find this online.
Yeah, because we're always sort of talking about that they always are be like, oh, girls make more money. And you go, yeah, it depends on which age you're talking about.
Very much so. So the cohort makes a huge difference, but think about the time when those girls are trying to find a man they're attracted to. So they are out-earning men in the period where they're making the decision about which man they want to settle down with. So and this is fucking tough for women as well. Who's going to say to women, you know those rights that you didn't have for a while and you kind of recently got? Maybe that's making it harder for you to find a man that you're fundamentally attracted to. No one wants to say that. Who's running on that, dialing it back? But it's also difficult to raise men up. Like, how do you get men to want to go back to college when they've been told for a long time? There's much better alternatives to this, to go and start your own business or begin an apprenticeship, trades, stuff like that.
That's the thing. If you're a dude, should you go to college? Like, it's a pretty objectively, not that great a deal for your average person.
Well, it just depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
For
on average.
for the total aimless, like general person who's just going to kill 4 years. For sure, probably not.
It depends on what you want, because I went to uni for 5 years, and everything that I value was the experiences, being around friends, living in halls of residence. Like, that was I couldn't do that any other way. And regardless,
is that true though? Like, for me, when I grew up, so I would say that there was college was one thing. Then I played in a band, and that was a whole community and scene. And then I was in comedy, and that was a whole thing. And to be honest, those experiences were very similar to the college experience in terms of, who was around and the vibe of it.
Do you think that other people can find a community of people as easily as you did?
So that's that's kind of what I was thinking about. It goes, and that goes back to when people are like, oh, but you get this experience. Yes, if you're a type of person that wouldn't normally get that, you're right. There's some people that instead of going to college, their alternative might be playing video games in their parents' basement.
Normal job, blah, blah.
Exactly.
They're not going to be touring on the road with a band, meeting other bands every night and, fucking groupies.
Yeah, I had one friend
like Jordan.
I had one friend who he didn't go to college, but he went and just lived at the same time with all of our friends who went to
That's the real life hack.
So he was a mechanic. He just moved to Ottawa, and he was a mechanic at the time. and he was just working his regular job, but he was living in a student house with all of our friends from high school who are now in college. So he kind of got
Rich as fuck.
Yeah, he was kind of getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching that clip. If you want to support the podcast, go to patreon.com/theboyscast, where we have a new episode every week. 5 bones, every week episode. Tons of episodes there now.
5 bones.
5 bones.
5 bones.
Support the boys.
It's $1.25 a week.